The city of Eryndralis sits atop fractured cliffs carved from obsidian and glassy stone, overlooking seas that shimmer with suspended light. This is a world where memory itself is a resource. Shards of past experiences, emotions, and secrets can be distilled into glowing crystals called looms, which power technology, fortify defenses, and even manipulate perception. Entire districts of the city pulse with soft, color-shifting light from looms, creating a living kaleidoscope of motion, sound, and mood. Eryndralis is fractured politically, ruled by two rival councils. The Covenant, who uphold tradition and control, looms through bureaucratic hierarchy, and the Freewielders, who believe memory magic should be liberated, decentralized, and shared openly. Tension simmers beneath the city's luminous streets. But few see the true threat. A mysterious faction known only as the Voidborn, whose goal is to shatter all looms to remake the world from nothing. Beyond the city, the lands are wild and unpredictable. Towering forests of crystalline trees, rivers of molten silver, and mountains that hum with resonance all carry fragments of lost histories. These landscapes are both beautiful and dangerous, full of hidden looms and creatures whose essence is bound to memory itself. The world is alive, reactive, and layered with history reminding its inhabitants that every choice echoes far beyond the moment. A glowing shard falls from the sky, striking the central plaza as citizens stop, staring upward in awe. The world will never be the same. It's Ayla. Ayla is a Shardbearer, one of the rare individuals capable of wielding the looms physically. Orphaned in childhood when a Voidborn attack destroyed her village, she hides a shard that contains memories not entirely her own, someone else's fear, anger, and hope fused with her own. Cynical and fiercely protective, she mistrusts alliances, but beneath her sharp exterior lies a desire to belong. Her arc revolves around identity and choice, as she must reconcile the shard within her with her own sense of self. The shard burned against her palm, warm and insistent. Every heartbeat it echoed pulled at her memories, some hers, some not. She closed her eyes, trying to breathe through the voices, and the city's pulse hummed in answer, curious, waiting. Kael is a former engineer for the Covenant, turned rebel after witnessing the Council suppress crucial truths, analytical, pragmatic, and skeptical. He uses mechanical constructs powered by looms to map, fight, and survive. Kael wrestles with guilt. His inventions inadvertently harmed innocents during the initial Voidborn uprising. His arc is about growth and redemption, learning that human connection often matters more than precise calculations. The automaton whirred to life under his hands, its metal joints singing like wind over glass. He studied the schematic again, heart tight. If he miscalculated, the Voidborn would have another tool to manipulate memories, and he'd carry the blame twice over. Serin is a freewielder, operative, charismatic, daring, and mysterious. She flits between the city's shadowed alleyways and floating markets, gathering allies for missions the councils can't sanction. She is drawn to Ayla, seeing the shard she carries as more than power. It is hope, potential, and a reflection of herself. Her arc explores trust and moral choice, showing that loyalty can be fluid and courage often comes in quiet forms. Serin ducked behind a prism-shaped pillar, the hum of the looms in her hair. She counted the footsteps, matching the rhythm with the city's pulse, and smiled. Someone was coming, someone important. Maybe even a friend. Eiran is a scholar obsessed with uncovering ancient shard lore. Brilliant but socially awkward, he provides knowledge, guidance, and occasionally misdirection. His arc centers on memory and perspective, challenging the others to confront truths buried in the shards they wield. He reminds the group that understanding history and each other is critical to survival. The library tower stretched above him, spiraling with loomlight. He traced the glyphs etched into the walls, feeling the pull of centuries-old memories. To hold the shard was to touch every life that had come before. The story opens in Eryndralis Central Plaza, where a shard falls from the sky, glowing with a strange, shifting hue. Citizens scream, scatter, and some faint Ayla is drawn instinctively, recognizing its resonance. Before she can secure it, a group of Voidborn raiders emerges, seizing shards to corrupt their energy. Ayla fights instinctively, using her shard to manipulate time briefly, dodging attacks and pushing raiders away. Kael, nearby studying the energy flux, intervenes with mechanical constructs, surprising her with both skill and unexpected humor. Serin slips out of the shadows, agile and clever, helping the two fend off the remaining raiders. Eiran arrives last, analyzing the shard and deducing that it contains a memory mapper fragment of an event that could destabilize the city if misused. The four must form an uneasy alliance, combining Ella's raw shard power, Kael's engineering, Serin's agility and street knowledge, and Eiran's intellect. Despite mistrust, they recognize a shared purpose. Prevent the Voidborn from exploiting the shard, and uncover why shards are suddenly falling across the city. Scene hook. As the last raider falls, the shard pulses, projecting a vision of the city in ruins. The group knows they have hours, not days to act. The city of Eryndralis never slept, but tonight it trembled. Ayla moved through alleys where the loom glow shifted like restless ghosts, each shard she passed whispering echoes of memories she didn't own. The fallen shard from the plaza burned in her satchel, a warm pulse against her ribs, urging her forward. Careful, Kael muttered behind her, the click of his mechanical boots echoing against stone walls. If anyone catches us with that, it won't be a conversation. His hands hovered over the metal gauntlet strapped to his wrists, ready to deploy a swarm of tiny constructs at a moment's notice. Ayla glanced over her shoulder. I don't need a lecture. I need you to not break my legs by accident, Kael smirked. Noted Serin flicked down from a rooftop, landing lightly beside them. Her hair caught the loomlight, threads of gold and silver dancing in her steps. We have options, she said. The freewielders are uneasy, but they'll back us if they see the shard's potential. And Eiran says it's not just powerful, it's dangerous. Eiran appeared at last, carrying a satchel of scrolls that rattled with faint crystalline echoes. Dangerous is a polite word, he said. It contains a fragment of the city's past. Someone or something is rewriting memory, and this shard is the key. The four exchanged glances, the weight of unspoken questions pressing between them. An uneasy alliance had formed, but trust was fragile. Every step toward the central district was a gamble, every alley a potential ambush. Yet each of them understood the same truth. If they didn't act, the city could unravel in hours. Night deepened, and the streets twisted into labyrinths lined with crystalline spires. Ayla extended her hand, and the shard floated before her, spinning with a delicate hum. Colors from the shard reflected in Kael's gauntlets as he adjusted their mechanics to synchronize with her loom energy. "Stop trying to over-engineer everything," Ayla said, though the corner of her mouth twitched with amusement. "Some things aren't meant to be controlled." Kael's eyes flicked with irritation. Then curiosity. Maybe. But chaos has a way of getting us killed, and I'd rather live than feel poetic about it. Serin leaned against a spire, her arms folded. "Both of you are going to have to learn to trust each other, or at least act like it." Her gaze softened on Ayla for a fraction of a second. "The shard chooses the bearer carefully, but even it can't do this alone." Eiran, hunched over his scrolls, added, "There are zones in the city where memory flows in unexpected ways. Your shard might interact with them, but mechanical interference could either stabilize or destroy the resonance." The group paused at an open plaza where shards had sprouted from the ground like luminous flowers. Each shard pulsed with a snippet of someone's life-laughter arguments, secret confessions, and the air thrummed with tension. Here they saw their first glimpse of the Voidborn's interference. Shards twisted into jagged, blackened spikes, memories corrupted into nightmares. Ayla swallowed. "We're not just racing against time. We're racing against memory itself." As days passed, the group grew closer. Nights spent navigating glowing tunnels beneath Eryndralis turned into small confessions. Ayla revealed fragments of her childhood village. Kael admitted his guilt over past miscalculations. Serin shared a secret longing to belong, and Eiran confessed the obsession that had isolated him from everyone. Yet shadows lingered. One night, under the flickering neon of a loom-lit bridge, Serin disappeared for hours. When she returned, her smile seemed sharper, a secret tucked behind her eyes. "What were you doing?" Ayla asked, suspicion threading her voice. Gathering intel, Serin replied lightly, but the hesitation lingered. Kael's hands twitched against his gauntlets. "You could have told us." Serin's gaze dropped, then met theirs, and risked the shard. "Some things are too dangerous to explain." Eiran stepped forward. "Or maybe some things you're not ready to tell, even yourselves." The tension hung like static electricity. Each member of the group realized that alliances were fragile, and in a city where memory could be stolen or rewritten, trust was a weapon as dangerous as any shard. The lines between loyalty, love, and betrayal blurred, and the question became, could they act as a team when every secret threatened to unravel the others? Infiltration of the memory district. crouched at the edge of the glassy bridge, her shard hovering above her palm, pulsing with soft violet light. Below her, the memory district sprawled like a living mosaic. Streets twisted into spiraling patterns, shards erupting from walls, floors, and fountains, each humming with a fragment of the city's past. Some shards glimmered peacefully, frozen recollections of laughter or celebrations. Others quivered, blackened and jagged, a warning of the Voidborn corruption that tainted memory itself. "We move carefully," Ayla whispered, the shard's warmth pressed against her fingers, reacting to the corrupted energy below. "One misstep, and we'll lose more than just ourselves. These fragments, they're people." Kael adjusted the gauntlets on his hands, letting the mechanical tendrils extend like fingers, scanning for anomalies. People, or the memories of people. Don't forget, memories can be twisted. Serin stepped beside them, her boots silent against the crystalline stones. "Twisted or not, we have to know what the Voidborn are planning. If the corruption spreads, the entire city could collapse." Eiran's eyes scanned the streets with a scholar's precision, noting patterns in the corrupted shards. "It's worse than I imagined. Whoever is behind this isn't just stealing memories, they're rewriting history, altering identity." The team moved cautiously, using a combination of shard resonance and mechanical constructs to traverse the shifting streets. Every step was a gamble. The memory district was alive, sensing their intentions and reacting with pulses of energy that tugged at their emotions. Joy, fear, love, guilt, they felt each one as if it belonged to them. As they reached the center of the district, the group encountered a Voidborn lieutenant, a figure encased in shards that radiated both menace and sorrow. The lieutenant's memories flickered visibly echoes of a childhood, a lost family, a choice that went wrong. Ayla froze, instinctively reaching toward the shard, drawn to its humanity. "Stop," Serin hissed, pulling her back. "We can't risk it." "If she survives," she warned the others. Kael's fingers twitched over his gauntlets. "We have a mission. We can't let empathy kill strategy." Eiran's voice was quiet, almost trembling. "But these are fragments of lives. If we destroy her, we erase them completely." Ayla hesitated, staring at the lieutenant's memories. Faces smiled, a lullaby hummed faintly through the shard. Then the lieutenant lunged, a blur of corrupted energy aimed directly at Ayla. With a surge of shard power, she redirected the attack, fusing her memory fragment with the Voidborn's own essence. Pain lanced through her mind as she glimpsed another life entirely, one shaped by choices she didn't understand. When the dust settled, the lieutenant lay unconscious, her shards dimmed but intact. Silence pressed against them, thick and suffocating. "See," Kael said, voice tight, "we're outmatched if we let hesitation guide us." Ayla looked down at her hand, trembling. "I didn't destroy her, but I'm not sure what I just did. I don't even know whose memory I touched." Serin's gaze softened, a flicker of understanding. Sometimes saving someone isn't simple, but it's the right thing. "You're not weak, you're human." Eiran nodded, scribbling into his notes. And yet, every choice has consequences. The Voidborn aren't just enemies, they re-reflections of what we could become if we lose control. The team pressed onward, reaching the memory nexus, a towering crystalline structure pulsing with unstable shards. Here, the full scope of the Voidborn plot became horrifyingly clear. The faction wasn't just stealing or corrupting memory, they intended to merge shards into a single, city-spanning consciousness, erasing individuality to create a hive mind ruled by a single corrupted will. Ayla's shard quivered violently in her hand, as if protesting the revelation. There, turning everyone into one being. No choice, no identity. Kael swallowed hard, adjusting his gauntlets. We can't let this happen. But how do we fight something that's already everywhere? Serin's eyes narrowed. We do what we've been doing. Trust each other, act together, and find a way to sever the connection at its source. We have to split it apart before the city loses itself forever. Eiran's fingers traced the pulsing patterns across the Nexus. There's a network of loom conduits. If we disrupt the central shard, we might reset the system. But it's dangerous. One wrong move and the memories could be destroyed permanently. Ayla swallowed, feeling the shard inside her resonate with the Nexus. She realized something terrifying. Her shard, the one she had carried since the plaza, was the key to stabilizing or detonating the network. The choice was hers alone, and the fate of the city and her friends rested on her decision. The Nexus hums louder, shards thrumming with anticipation. The Voidborn leaders appear, shadowy figures materializing from memory itself. The memory nexus pulsed violently, shards spinning in dizzying patterns, casting fractured light across the city. Ayla's shard burned in her palm, synchronizing with the network as if calling to every corrupted fragment. The Voidborn leaders emerged, four towering figures. Their forms, half shadow, half crystal eyes glowing with stolen memories. "You've come far," the tallest hissed, voice layered with 100 stolen tones. "But you cannot stop evolution. The city belongs to all of us all. None of you." Ayla stepped forward, shard held high. "This isn't evolution. It's erasure. You're destroying lives." The lead Voidborn laughed, a sound like splintering glass. "Lives are memories. Memories are power. And power is survival." Kael's gauntlets extended, mechanical arms spinning with calibrated precision. "We'll see about that," he shouted, hurling shards of stabilized loom energy toward the approaching figures. Sparks danced across the crystalline floors, carving paths of light in the chaos. "Ayla, now," she called. Eiran, crouched over a map of resonance channels, traced the central node. Together, they formed a living circuit, a human chain reinforcing Ayla's effort. And then, one final pulse. The central shard flared so brightly that the Nexus seemed to explode in color, spinning memory and light into a harmonious resonance. The Voidborn forms disintegrated, released, and the corrupted shards stabilized, returning fragments of life and history to the city. When the light faded, Ayla collapsed, breath ragged. Kael caught her, his usual sarcasm replaced with quiet relief. "You actually did it." Somehow, Serin knelt beside them, brushing dust from Ayla's hair. "We all did it. Together. That's what mattered." Eiran studied the Nexus, now glowing steadily and calmly. "The network is safe for now. But the shard will always carry echoes of what happened. It's a reminder." Ayla looked at her hands, feeling the shard's warmth, but lighter now. I didn't just save the city. I saved myself too. And maybe. I finally understand who I am." The team stepped out of the Nexus into the city's streets. Citizens emerged cautiously, marveling at the restored shards and the return of normal light. Ayla, Kael, Serin, and Eiran shared a quiet moment of triumph, not just over the Voidborn, but over fear, doubt, and isolation. They had grown, bonded, and discovered the power of choice, connection, and identity. And while the future still held mysteries, the city and their hearts had survived, stronger and brighter than before. The shard pulses faintly, reminding Ayla that the story isn't over. Other shards, other mysteries, other adventures await. The first light of dawn spilled over Eryndralis, refracting across shards that now hummed in gentle harmony. The streets were quiet, almost reverent, as citizens tentatively emerged to see the restored city, where shards had twisted into jagged nightmares. Now they glowed soft amber, blue and violet teach, one carrying a life, a memory, a story returned. Ayla walked slowly through the plaza, her shard warm against her chest. Every step brought a new echo of voices, laughter, songs, arguments, whispers, all intertwined in a tapestry that was fragile, alive, and beautiful. Serin caught her wrist, tugging her back gently. "You did it," she said simply. "All of us did. The city. It's alive again." Kael, surveying the plaza, let out a low whistle. "I've designed a lot of systems in my life, but nothing that reacts like this. It's alive, like you said, and we didn't break it." "That's worth something." Eiran, perched atop a nearby archway, traced the light pulses across shards. Every fragment carries a story. Some are still fragile, but the network will stabilize with care, and we've learned how to care for it. Ayla exhaled, feeling the weight of the last days lift slightly. The shard pulsed faintly, not demanding, not urgent, just steady. A reminder of choices made, lives saved, and connections forged. The team settled in the plaza, sharing quiet conversation amidst the city's gentle hums. Ayla finally allowed herself to laugh a soft, unguarded sound, as Serin recounted a daring escape from a collapsed shard tunnel. Kael leaned against a light spire, joking about engineering improvements for shard stabilizers, while Eiran scribbled notes with a reflective smile. Ayla caught Serin's eye. I never thought trust could feel like this. Not safe, not uncertain, but she paused, letting the unspoken acknowledgement hang in the air. It's worth it. Serin's grin was small, mischievous, yet warm. It always is, especially when it's earned. Kael smirked at their exchange, muttering under his breath. Finally, emotional development. About time. And yet, beneath their relief, each knew the city and the Shards held more mysteries. There were fragments, yet undiscovered, echoes, yet unfelt. The Voidborn may have been defeated, but other challenges would arise, other choices would demand courage. Ayla returned to the edge of the plaza, gazing at the city skyline. Towers of crystal shimmered as sunlight kissed them, but a faint pulse from the shard reminded her that not all threats were gone, not all secrets revealed. She traced the pulse with her fingers, feeling warmth and potential and unspoken promise of growth, adventure, and discovery. Eiran approached silently. The city is safe. For now, but the Shard will always remember what we did, and what we didn't. Kael and Serin joined her, forming a small circle of friends and allies. They didn't speak because words weren't needed. Their shared experience, choices and sacrifices were enough. Ayla looked at the shard in her palm, now quiet but alive, and smiled. Then let's see what's next. Together. Above them, shards flickered like stars reborn, humming a city-wide symphony. A tale of courage, connection, identity, and growth had ended for now. The journey continued, full of hope, wonder, and the promise that every choice mattered, every memory counted, and every bond could shine brighter than the darkest shadow. A shard pulses faintly in the distance, hinting at new mysteries and adventures awaiting the team, ensuring a sense of continuation without leaving the story unresolved.
If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.